Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another long form video. It has been a while. Obviously, if you were on the live yesterday, you would know that I'm trying to get back into this more frequently, type. Um, if my voice sounds low, it's 8 in the morning, and I was sick the past couple days. Um, but besides that, the JJS update dropped in the middle of me streaming yesterday, which was awesome because I got to show everything off as soon as I possibly could, pretty much. So let's just kick straight off into what got released to the public, and then we'll go into the new early access stuff. So, Nayoya is now public. He is, completely done, and I'm just going to show off the changes that were done to him. Okay, so what's new with Nayoya is his awakening has been redone a little bit. Not completely, but... So let me... just do that. So that also, like, shoves people away now, which is pretty neat. Honestly, for the good, because if, you're fighting Gojo or something and he pops 0.2 second domain, you really can't do anything. Same with, like, any domain, really. So anyway, as you can see, he has a new move, Tendril Grab. But we'll get into that in a second. So his awakening has been nearly completely refurbished, I guess. So one interesting thing is that his M1s kind of drag you to the closest player if you're close enough. And it's like a pretty far range. Like, I feel like I probably shouldn't be able to hit him from all the way over here. So another thing is, when you just saw me do my R special, you saw this little bar go up. So you can only do the R special 4 times before it gets to its max. You can't go any faster than this, which is probably for the best, considering you were pretty much able to spam it the whole time when you couldn't, and you would be way too fast. He also has a new, besides the M1 passive, he has a new passive thing that he does in the air. So if you're jumping off a building or something, he kind of floats instead of just falling straight down. So he just floats. It's honestly really cool, but so there's that. So top speed did get a buff, which is that it now has a lock-on. As soon as you hit the first person, it's gonna try to hit them again. There isn't much new to flash freezing, besides for some new visuals every time you collect a pain with top speed. There's some visuals to that now. So obviously, a simple combo would be flash freezing, top speed. And you see how much damage that does? It's so much. Just messing around with it, it's really interesting. But it gives you full-on lock-on, pretty much. While using top speed. Besides that, flash freezing hasn't had any major changes. So, we have his new move, which is Tendril Grab, which stuns the enemy for like a second or two, in which you have enough time to pop your domain if you really wanted to. The domain is the only move that had absolutely no changes done to it, except for, like, I think maybe the little, like, splash screen, little pop-up might have got changed a little bit. But, yeah. So by the way, that's the stuff like the tendrils break as soon as you M1. So you're not gonna be able to do anything too crazy with that, which is for the best. But yeah, if you're close enough, they aren't gonna be able to get away. So yeah, the domain pretty much has like it's not really been changed. So that's Nayoya. I think this is the first time a early access character that came out after another has released first. It's pretty funny, honestly. But yeah. So there's Nayoya. Now let's get into Mekamaru. So he has had quite the change. Pretty much his entire base has been reworked. Every single move has been changed in some way. So his first move, Ultra Spin, you would think, you know, that it's the same, but if I have my R variant, the old R variant, it used to just go out the front of you. Now he comes from behind. So it's used to break blocks. And another thing pretty interesting with him is that all of his offload variants of his moves, they do not cost any cooldown. See that? I was able to use it twice with cooldowns on, which is really interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. Anyways, Boost On has been completely redone. It is now a grab type move. It can hit when grounded, which is really good. Because that's like his only combo extend at all, besides Ultra Spin. Ultra Cannon has no hold variant anymore. You just press it once and it shoots. His R special for Ultra Cannon has also been changed. So he drops down and you get a little red line as like, you know, so you can see where you're aiming. So the way to activate it is just pressing block. And he shoots. It's just like a turret thing, kind of. And I'm gonna test something, honestly, just right now. So yes, you can spawn multiple of them and just have a firing squad. There you go. And it just becomes a rail cannon practically. Spawn in a dummy. They nearly killed him with that. So yeah, that is one thing that Ultra Cannon, I would say that's both a buff and a nerf, since you can't have the mid-air variant or the hold variant anymore, but you do get those infinite amounts of turns. Because obviously, you don't have to use them immediately. You can just sort of, you know. It's kind of funny, but yeah. And then his last move has been completely changed. So, Heat Emission is a use twice move. Treat it as Ignition Burst from TSB, but instead of the final part launching your opponent backwards, it launches them up. You can obviously end it early, in which instead of a final burst, it just does a kick. Just a kick up. you could sort of maybe use it as a combo extender with Boost On. If I'm being honest, I don't really like what they did to Mechamaru. I do think some of the changes are very cool. I feel like what they could have done is leave Boost On the way it was and have that variant as this new part or this new move of Boost On as an air variant. So like if you were to do an up tilt. Come on, let me do an up tilt. Okay, well I can't do it right now, I guess. Something like that, you know? Anyways. That's his base moveset, and before I use my awakening, there's something really interesting I wanted to show you guys, which is how they reworked his, like, awakening in general. So you can see right now, I have awakening. And if I pop it right now, I get 10 seconds. So that's all you can do. But I'm going to reset again. They added something to his awakening. So now you can see the more damage I do, the more his super awakening bar goes up. It's just like Mahito's, except it's not a super awakening. It's just meant to show you that yes, you're getting more time. So the more damage you do, obviously, the more time you're gonna have in the mech. So I'm just gonna give myself Infinite Awakening. So you're gonna get the regular Awakening bar and the Super Awakening bar at the same time, and then when you pop Awakening, you get, like, I believe around 3 minutes or so. Okay, I'm just gonna bring the dummy out here. Of just using this. Obviously, if you were to use the moves, it would be a bit different. You would, because the moves, God, I can't speak. The moves drain the time, which is why, a lot of the times, if you're going to use the Awakening without getting any, you're gonna want to use, it's gonna be for healing, and then to use one Super Awakening move. And then if you maxed it out, you're probably going to want to just spam them once, since they really can't do anything about it. So anyways, Infinite Awakening. Pigeon Voila got or Viola, however the hell you want to say it. It has like a visual effect now. It's pretty interesting, I guess. I mean, it's nothing much. It just does add, you know, a little bit more some cool stuff. I was trying to see if there was like some weird techie stuff I could do, but there isn't. Miracle Cannon is the same. It hasn't changed. It is the same exact move. And then there's Absolute Destruction, in which, you know, you run a little bit, and then you jump. Pretty cool stuff, honestly. Obviously, it's not gonna do, like, an insane amount of damage. And obviously, there really are no finishers for it. And there is a new system for the mech so that you can actually combat it. Because obviously before, if somebody popped a Mechamaru mech, we're just kind of screwed. I mean, they were so powerful. So now, if I do believe how the system works is you can sort of do damage to every one of the limbs, and every time you do enough damage, he is stunned for like a couple seconds, so you can do even more damage. So that is the balancing system for his awakening, which I think is pretty fair. It seems balanced enough so that it's really not in anybody's favor, since you have to do all that damage to begin with, but you're getting rewarded for it anyway. So it does help. I'll give them that. It is much better than what it was before, where you couldn't do anything. But that's pretty much all of Mechamaru's changes. So let's go to Nanami, who is our new early access character. So we're gonna start off with the R special, which is this. So every 4th M1, while that's active, will be a black flash. So I'm gonna give myself no cooldowns real quick. And Infinite Awakening, just in case it takes up Awakening. So every 4th M1. Oops. This does not include down slams. By down slam, it will not black flash. Another really cool thing is that you can use it in the middle of fighting. There is no finisher for the black flash. It's purely extra damage and some knockback. One of the best times to use it is probably after the 4th move, which I'll get into now that we have the R special done. So our first move is Cleaving Whirlwind. It's a pretty interesting move to land considering how it works. You can't really uppercut into it. It's sort of meant to be going behind the enemy sort of thing, I believe that's what you're meant to use it for. God, I can't land it. And then obviously, you know, it grounds them instantly. So you could use the other moves. Oh my god, I can't land it. Like Stabilize. Stabilize is a really good move. It's pretty much a combo extender, almost, sort of. It's weird how his kit is, because he doesn't really have any combo extenders. The only thing you can do is, you really do have to abuse his R special for it to, you know, be good. I mean, that is just how it works for him. Next we have Severance Kick, which is direction, and I have no clue what that actually means, what they mean by direction. I seriously have no clue. Because it's not exactly like you can put them in any direction you want, unless you're like side dashing. I hit the wrong move, but anyway, this in later. Another part of Severance Kick is that it has a variant with throwables. I'm not sure if it's all, okay, it is all throwables. You can kick them just like you can do with Yuji's R special. It does the same thing, it just puts Severance Kick on cooldown. into the next move. Blunt Cut, which has 3 variants. But we have regular, without holding. It does enough damage. You can't really... I think it does hit while grounded. Next we have the hold variant, which just does more damage. There you go. Then we have the air variant, which I would say is better, since you could probably combo off of it better. Although it's really annoying to land. And then I believe there is a hold bit. No, there is. Oh, there is. Or am I geeked? Yeah, I am geeked. Whatever. God, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Okay. And then lastly, we have Stabilize, which is sort of a combo extender. It's really... His kit is... like... think of it as almost like Nayoya's kit, where you're not comboing. Severance Kick does have a finisher, by the way. It just does increased knockback. But, yeah, there's that. That's pretty much Nanami's kit. So, next, let's get on to the last character that was added. We have to toggle overpowered movesets for this. Here we go. Characters, and you'll see Goku. Obviously, it's Kid Goku. And I'll show you what everything does. So, starting off with his passive ability, which is his dashes now go in the air. I wish I could have no cooldowns on dashes. Maybe no stun will do that. Nope. But yeah, so you can... He has, like, very floaty dashes. They're slower for front dashes. But yeah, if you jump first, you can fly around a little bit. Then his R special. It's just basically teleport dashes and sort of messes with your accessories a little bit for some reason. I don't get that. I think that's just a no cooldowns thing. I just thought it was kind of funny. And if you're noticing that every time I do them, there's this little red bit. I'll show you what that is from, because I know what it's from and why that's there. But anyways, let's go start off with his kit. Here's his M1s. It's kind of hard to see since I'm just gonna reset. There we go. Okay, so here's his M1s. You know, pretty regular stuff. His block is this. His first move is Kamehameha. It looks like really goofy, but, you know, it's cool. And there's also an air version. It's the same. It's just you can do it and, like, aim it around. Although it is always... You can't go lower than a certain angle. But yeah, there's that. His next move is Staff Uppercut. Yeah. And then it has a variant with his R special. And there's the finisher for that. I should probably show you the finishers for all these. Yeah, I'll show you the Kamehameha finisher. Low HP dummy. Here we go. It's nothing special. Anyways, here's Staff Extend. It's not really much of anything. But there is an air variant. If you tap once, it's so weird how this works. It's not, I like, it's a really nothing burger of an air variant. I think it's just funny that you can sort of pogo around. And then you can also hold it to go up as high as, like, a certain amount. And if you're wondering, these are two separate shades, so that is what that little bit is when you're doing the R special. So if I do the R special, yeah, there you go. That'll make more sense. And then last we have key spam, which is a hold. So the most you can get is that. And it's probably the best move in his kit. So like a simple combo would be this. Well, I missed it a little bit, so it was really good. And if I landed that, like, fine, I'm pretty sure that would be a 100%. Okay, so nearly. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can't uppercut into Staff Extend. And for some reason, that really... Okay, whatever. It's really weird. Other moves fix that. I don't know why that does that. It's only Kamehameha. That's so weird. Anyways, that's just a visual bug. And then... Lastly, we have his Awakening. Which has the old Mechamaru M1s. I probably didn't mention that when I was showcasing Mechamaru. But his M1s were like sort of redone so that the first doesn't slap them away from you. It's only the last one. But yeah, so he has the old Mechamaru M1s. He has a dash variant, so if you dash while you're in his Awakening, he does like this little leap. Which is pretty cool, honestly. Yep, and there he goes. There's the dummy. He obviously can't really jump high. Whoa, I don't even know what that was. But yeah. So there's that. It's honestly some really funny stuff. I'm really glad that they did add it, though, because it is awesome that we can at least mess around with it, even though we're not, testers or anything like that. And then, obviously, I'll just let the Awakening drain real quick. So that's the awakening. So yeah, that's the update. And before I go, there is one thing I want to say, which is I know I say this, I've said this so many times at this point, if I'm being honest. We're gonna try to get back to shorts most of the time, a full length sometimes in a stream every once in a while, you know? But yeah, so that was the update for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all later.